What's up, guys? I'm back with seems like an abandoned water park. I'm not sure why it's abandoned. It just looks like that. I mean, like I said, I'm not in Manila. I'm not in some major city, but nevertheless, it's a water park. So if you guys are new expats or anybody that's new traveling overseas, you're gonna want to pay attention to the exchange rate. An exchange rate basically tells you how much your money is worth. You know, for example, I got 100 USD from the bank before I left, and I exchanged it for 26 million Vietnam dong. And you can see right here on my screen the calculation. So 1,000 US got me 26 million dong. That's more than enough you actually need, but I felt like I needed it at the time, and that's what we got. But a new expat, beginner expat, make sure you pay attention to the exchange rate. That's gonna tell you how much your money is worth. What else? And be mindful of your spending too, because even though these countries that you consider cheap to live in, like Thailand, Vietnam, and here in the Philippines, that money can basically add up. You know, you might end up overspending because you think things are so cheap. You can end up spending way more than you actually need. Hell, I probably spent more than I actually needed, but like I said in my last video, you gotta make sure you budget what you can afford. What else? I'm not really filming anybody at this water park, supposedly, because you know Philippines rules about, you know, people being in your video have to be blurred out and everything. So I'm kind of trying to stay away from people. So I'm kind of like, you know, walking away. And another thing, when you land in your destination, don't be afraid to get your currency in the local currency from a reputable exchange rate person. I mean, when I got to Vietnam, the way I found my exchange rate person, I actually saw it from found it from another YouTube video. That's how I kind of knew it probably was at least a little bit legit. You know, I'm not 100% sure, but since I saw it in somebody else's YouTube video and he said the guy was a good guy, he has good rates, meaning these money exchange places, they have to make money too. They have to make some kind of profit. So that's what I mean. And these money exchange places are gonna probably be in some weird spots too, you know what I'm saying? Like the one I found in Vietnam, I had to catch a grab from my hotel to like another section of Vietnam. Like, I don't even know, you know, you're gonna kind of have to venture out and kind of not be too scared to explore your surroundings, because the guy that I found on that other YouTube video, he was like on he was on a main street, but he was kind of, you know, for me, I'm like, man, this is like kind of crazy. Where's this guy at? So I had to kind of like get still pictures from the YouTube video and kind of match it up with the addresses that I saw in Vietnam. And you know how hard it is trying to translate with Google Translator. It's like really hard. So yeah, I messed it up. I found the guy. Actually, here's a picture of the guy, if I remember to post it. Yeah, he was actually a good person. He had a good exchange rate. Like I said, these money people gotta make, these exchange people, currency exchange people have to make money too. So I think he charged me about, I can't actually remember the exact amount. I don't know if it was a few dollars or a couple dollars. You know, it wasn't much, but they have to make money too, but you're gonna get close to what that exchange rate is. So you gotta be mindful and know how much you're supposed to get. And I'm very mindful how much I'm supposed to get. So this 26 million dong pesos, wherever it is, that's how much I want. And I know how much the fee that they'll charge, because you'll see it once you do your research on how to actually, you know, figure that kind of stuff out, you'll see what you're supposed to get, and you'll see how much they probably actually would charge. They charge different prices, so be mindful of that too. So what actually influences these exchange rates? Well, it's a few things that actually influence the exchange rate, but I'll give you 3 of them right here. So it's gonna be the interest rates that the banks charge, correct me if I'm wrong, it's gonna be inflation, and it's gonna be political stability in the country. Yeah, so those are the three things that will affect the your exchange rate, and you want to make sure those things are on point. I mean, you can't predict the political climate or the interest rate. You really can't do anything. You know what I'm saying? All you can do is really accept what the exchange rate is and use it for what it's good for, you know? And I'll leave you guys with this. That's why a lot of Americans are leaving the country, leaving America, because in some of these countries you can actually live pretty good, you know, for the money that you bring in, but you're gonna have to make sure you bring in stability as far as regular income for all this to help you out. So yeah, that's why a lot of Americans are leaving and going to these cheaper countries to live, because of the exchange rate and, you know, everything else. You know what I'm saying? They can live good lives, they can live productive lives, and not have to stress so much about how much money they're actually, you know, how much money they basically don't have to worry about struggling. If they're making a significant amount of money, they don't have to worry about struggling, basically. You know what I'm saying? That's why you see a lot of Thailand bloggers, a lot of Filipino bloggers, a lot of Vietnam bloggers. They can live in these countries and not have to worry. But like I said, you're gonna have to have some kind of steady income to do that. And YouTube is good, but you wanna make sure you have enough savings and your YouTube channel is actually bringing you in money, you know? So until next time, guys, please like and subscribe. If you wanna see more of this content on beginner expats, leave a comment below, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.